I grew up making games, so I wanted to make a career out of that. Shawnee being a small school was the thing that drew me to it. Shawnee is nationally ranked in the Princeton list for game design. A lot of the professors own their own businesses. That kind of prompted me to start my own business. I started a game studio. I don't think that would have been possible if the school were bigger, and Shawnee put that all together for me. I'm Dalton, and I invite you to discover Shawnee State University for yourself. Please visit discover.shawnee.edu.
Good morning, everybody. Shawnee State University. Anyone else who happens to be tuning in. My name is Dylan Gonzalez, and welcome to round 2 of the League of Legends 2022 North Conference. I have an amazing game. We all have an amazing game for you today. That game being, of course, Bethany Esports versus the Shawnee Bears Esports. Shawnee State University versus Bethany College. So, We have a very exciting game for you today, especially featuring into the Shawnee category, with our team, relatively speaking, going into a somewhat difficult matchup, considering that Bethany Esports is a higher ranked team, but I'm confident that our team can pull it out and cinch the win with not only good coordination, but also good pick and bans. I think that with all our combined efforts, I think that it'll be a very, at least, entertaining match. And I am excited to cast it along all here and to, well, show it all to you. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pick and ban portion of the game. We're immediately going to start getting right into it as we are going to see a Fiora ban right off the top. Now, I like this ban. I actually think it's pretty good. Fiora is a very good character, especially with the powerful dueling potential. They have great true damage, so especially if you're not really into like the matchups. And immediately we're going to get a Yumi ban as well. Now, what this immediately tells me is that they're scared of the Yumi because Yumi can do a lot of work. Yumi has powerful supports. Kiana ban back will immediately say, okay, you're not going to just get a free assassinate with the ult, especially with Axiom Arc being really good right now. I do like that ban. All three of these together, and I do like the Lilia ban here. Lilia has a very fat stun, very good stun, especially considering our jungler, who is Gerber, is a very good Lilia player. As a Lilia lover myself, I can respect the ban. And a Misfortune ban. Misfortune is just a good character, good solid AD ratios, and that has been playing a bit of off-meta mid lane. I do not believe their middle laner does play it, however. With the armor back, we can immediately see that they're going for a double support ban, which is an interesting tactic. They immediately think, I think your support's scary and very good and potentially could be a threat to us, so we're going to get it out of the way. Now, into the picks phasing, we are immediately seeing a Jinx pick by Arctic Wolf, who is obviously our bot laner is going to end up being, did not actually have the win. It is going to be 3-2-1 Legend as our bot laner. They immediately are going to say, we're going to get the Jinx into play. That's going to be your bot laner. And it looks like in a response, Bethany Esports is immediately going to pick their bot laner, Caitlyn. Now, the matchup into this is interesting because Jinx has very good all-in damage, but Caitlyn has good zoning, good pressure, making Jinx potentially zoned out. If the Jinx player is good enough, however, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Bot lane might be a bit difficult. It will really fall into the supports and how the junglers can play it. Immediately, we're going to get a Nunu and Will in play by immediately into that. We're going to get a William play, who is there, of course, Wizardish. Wizardish is their jungle, I do believe. It also could be BE Hunter, which it does look like it's going to be in this case. It is going to be Hunter. I apologize for the mild confusion. Then Nunu has very good ganks, has a lot of good damage, and from doing a little bit of snooping, I did find out they're a very good Nunu Willem player. Hecarim take back. Hecarim is obviously very good fast, very passive, very good engage. That engage is really, really nice. Big fears, big damage, and if you get fed, you can just carry the game, which of course we are seeing from both the Caitlyn and the Jinx. These plays, generally, I do like the picks, actually. I do like the bans as well, and these people are, to be frank, better than I am as a player, and that's clearly showing that they know what they're doing. This Vex play, immediately saying, we have good lockdown. Vex has great anti-movement and mobility, which, as we all know, the joke with League of Legends is going to be quite useful. Everyone and their mother has a dash. I do like the fears here. Vex is actually a very good character, I genuinely think, but that Corki play does look scary. Corki is very good right now, especially with the mixed ADs, with the mixed damage, the crit builds, the AP build. He's just really good, except for the AP builds, actually. His AP builds aren't great, to be honest, but, you know, the mix, you don't need AP if you can build next. Immediately, I like so far, both teams are establishing very easily. We got our mid laner, we got a bot, we got a jungle. They're going to immediately ban the third support ban, a Thresh. Once again, really focusing that we are going to focus down your support. And it'll be interesting to see here. We are going to get a fourth support ban. That is 4 different supports. I like this play in one regard, because that does mean that immediately Mr. Captain Wiley is going to have a much more limited champion pool with what supports they can play. Legend. That is unfortunately my bad. Legend is the support. We ourselves are going to get 2 support bans right back. So in the total, 5 supports are banned this game. I just kind of find that a little funny, and to be entirely honest, they're going to go with a Lux pick. Lux has good AP ratios, good damage, good stuns. Well, not stuns are root, but technicalities. This whole play, in general, I am actually liking how these comps are shaping up, for both teams. We have a tank, a damage dealer, and a high AP damage dealer on Shawnee, with a Soraka play as well, with really good sustain in these fights. And we're about to find out what is going to be the last role, which is, of course, top lane, I do believe, which is going to be the Arctic Wolf's pick, I'm pretty sure. I'm not being told that's incorrect, so I'm going to assume that's true, which we are going to get a Jax. Good hyper carry, especially if they get ahead. Really good stun, plus that skirmish potential could really do well if, like, the Nunu wants to go for the ganks. Jax can still fight it out. Into the package plays, you get some good stuns into that package. It's still really good, though, so we're going to have to watch out for those minute marks when package spawns. That could be potentially very dangerous, and I'm sure... and it does look like the last play is going to be a Renekton. Now, Renekton here really rounds out the team. Very good top laners, very good supports from both teams with the Lux and the Soraka. Immediately, you're going to be thinking, okay, we're going to need maybe Grievous Wounds deal with Soraka. Soraka's a lot of healing if you're not careful. But unfortunately, forcing them to buy Grievous Wounds is good because a lot of the other champions on the team, such as Jax, Hecarim, Vex, and Jinx, alone don't have great healing. Which basically says your team has to be healing for only one of our characters. With the Renekton and the Corki, however, even with like the pretty low healing from the Renekton and the Nunu, they're not going to really looking for grievous wounds. It looks like these general comps, Team Bethany Esports is really going to be want to find these duels, these early skirmishes with the Renektons, the good ganks, Corkis with the packages. While it looks like Team Shawnee State is definitely going to be looking for the little bit of slower fights, be it stall out with Hecarim's good just engage, Vex's good follow-up, Soraka's healing. It does look like genuinely this is going to be a fascinating matchup. Now, immediately my thought process is just by seeing these comps, and once again, I remind you that these players are very smart. They're very good at the game, and they're much better than I am as a player. My immediate thoughts are this Lux. If they go for the Chemtech Putrefier, which is a very good item, if you don't know, that gives grievous wounds to whoever you can barrier. If this Lux can hit the amazing 4-man barriers with the Chemtech Putrefier, that could have potentially solved it directly into Soraka, immediately giving her grievous wounds on the entire team for only one character on one item. Now, of course, that means they have to be able to hit huge 4-man barriers, and that is not an easy feat by any means, but if they can do it, that can potentially give some very difficult engages for the Soraka. Soraka's ult, of course, does cleanse of grievous wounds, which is only a little broken, and it's going to be genuinely interesting to see how this both the laning phase goes up and everything. We're gonna have to be watching out for those Corki timers, though. Once package spawns, Corki hits huge power spikes, allowing him to do insane amounts of damage, which I do not think that the team can compete with. That being said, Jinx has really good damage, especially if she gets a free kill. That's Go Excited is a crazy movement speed buff with crazy stats just in generally. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams will duke it out. No bias, of course. This is only the SSU esports, but I am kind of hoping that the SSU is going to eke it out just a little bit. Just a little bit, of course. I will try my best not to show too much bias, but forgive me if I do. I'm actually very genuinely interested in this matchup. As I've said before, Renekton to Jax, both are very good, just solid characters, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And we are back into the game immediately. I'm once again very excited to see this entire match play out, and we have to be asking ourselves the very first question, which is, are we going to be getting an invade at the very beginning of the game? Interesting question to ask, especially considering, oh no, that's not good. It does now. Once again, I am having a little bit of issues on my side of the technical side. It appears that I'm not quite loading in quite yet, it looks like. So I apologize for that. Luckily, I believe that we do have a little bit of a workaround into this, as we are going to see the Renekton into the top. They're all just making sure no invades are going to happen immediately, just making sure that's all going to go out great. We got the Jax in top lane, obviously. We got all the things. Maybe potentially a little bit of a skirmish going down, clearing that vision immediately. Once again, at the very early game, we're going to be looking to see how do they respond? How do they find the lanes? How do they get these actions going? What's going to be happening? Who's going to gank early? Are we going to gank early? And laning phase is important. Of course, if we all just want to passively farm, who wins in that case? In that case, we're going to be looking for maybe a quirky play later with the package. We're possibly going to be looking for some really good ganks from the Nunu, trying to get some action going, because I don't think either team really wants to just stay there and do nothing. Be a little bit of a skirmish in the mid lane, nothing too crazy. I did look like there was appear to be a flash there, not quite sure, as they're going to just some simple trades, nothing too crazy. Jinx get a little things. That Caitlyn range is going to hurt, though, that entire bot range. Obviously, Renekton really are good early game. Jax, pretty good early game. Both are going to be looking to duel it out, just get some early skirmishes, some easy trades. Renekton gonna eke out the win on these, and just a huge pokey Lux Caitlyn combo in the bot lane, making it generally just difficult for both players to fight into that. Curious to see how that will all play out, but these players are very good, very confident in their skills, so it does look like we're going to be seeing something interesting. A little bit of skirmish here and there. Once again, it looks like it's going to be finishing up the clear on the jungler side, which is potentially interesting if we're going to be seeing any ganks from Hacker and Nunu as well, and try and get some action going. Otherwise, looks like laning pressure-wise, looks like Bethany Esports is closing in a bit of an early lead, getting some early action going, getting some tower play, getting some tower damage, making it really difficult for the Jinx to farm, making it really difficult for the Lux to hit those heals. But those Qs, if you can hit the Qs, Soraka's healing is insane, allowing her to have great sustain in lane, allowing the laners to basically not ignore the problem of poking out, but be able to ignore the recall factor of it. You're still gonna be zoned out. You're still gonna be taking a little less of priority in lane, but you're not forced out quite yet. Vex is definitely gonna want that vision. Mid lanes, generally speaking, they both have pretty good engages and anti-engages. Immediately where it looks like we're gonna get a gank does not seem like it will quite work, unfortunately. I'm now immediately going to jump up to the playback, so I can actually get to where everyone is currently, because it just seems like I loaded in. It does look like we are going to be, once again, going to be getting some decent plays out here, some recall from the top lane, some recalls from the jungle. Generally speaking, just looking like some just good fundamentals. We're going to go back to the top lane, seeing an engage and a kill for the first blood immediately. It does look like Renekton will take the trade, though. That is an amazing, as the very first blood, note of support and assist from the Nunu, however, which is very important. That extra 100 gold will be unfortunate, as it is going to be a bit of a longer game. Now, once again, we are back into the bot lane, just doing some clean CS, doing some really simple ganking, nothing too crazy, just pretty solid gameplay, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with just good fundamental skills. That is going to be, looks like that will take a bit of a poke, that's fine. Soraka's there to heal, it'll be totally alright. That is a huge wave that is going to be crashing down, though, might be forcing an engage, might be forcing some CS game. They're immediately going to start punching. That does force a flash from Soraka, which does look like it might be potentially bad, but generally speaking, does look like it's going to be fine. Nunu is coming back immediately, going to go grab some camps. Renekton looking for some simple things, and it looks like we're back to a neutral play. Bot lane is, of course, shoved up as before, but that's all right. Renekton getting some good poke damage. The Jax really punishing with a good circle spin. I forget what ability that is at the moment. That's all right. The important thing is you saw it, so it's all right. Does look like a double recall from the bot lane, though, potentially going to give some good chance to shove up or maybe force a freeze, but it will look like the Soraka and the Jinx will take this opportunity to recall as well, spending their well-earned gold. Looking at it right now, those little item gaps, Caitlyn is going to have a bit of an item advantage since they have the quiver, as Jinx does not, only with 2 long swords, not long swords. Yeah, long swords. Is looking like they're potentially going to be a little bit of an engagement. They are going to go for a drag play here, but that Renekton is not in a great spot. That's potentially a very clean kill right here. And they get the stun, they get the pushback. Immediately, this Jax is going to go in for it. The Hecarim's pressuring. This Renekton has the healing, though. He has the thing. He does not have the rage, and Hecarim will get the kill here. That is once again a huge solo kill. They did give up drag for that, but that 300 gold could potentially be very interesting. Nunu immediately going to invade, going for the Soraka, getting Soraka trying to silence the Corki, coming into assist, not going to be able to get out, unfortunately, as the Jinx was just a little bit too late from the 3 other people who are all doing a coordinated dive on that. Now, this is unfortunate for the SSU Bears, as it does look like they're going to be forcing more pressure, going to be doing more tower damage, getting that tower plane, getting that gold, getting that vision control, all of which does matter. The Hecarim is getting some counter jungling in, which is good, and it is going to let them get ahead a little bit, but that damage is done. It is going to give them a bit of a lead. Of course, SSU Games is not out of it by any stretch of the mean, as Troll Strike is going to go for a kill, going to get the stun, going to get the ult, immediately get rooted. Jinx is coming to assist. That is going to be a root from the Lux, however, keeping them off that Q shot from Caitlyn, and it does look like that will be an unsuccessful kill from the Vex. Another little skirmish in the top lane, just getting some stuns, getting some engagements. Does look like there's not going to be much of an extended engage, which is fine. Wave will slowly push towards Jax. Jax can get some gold, a little bit of lead. Top lane's looking generally pretty even, as Corki is going to attempt to push up in the mid lane. Soraka is going to get a scoop. Root into with the Jinx, going back to the auto attacks. Caitlyn's going for the kill, going with another Q, getting that healing from the Soraka. And it looks like, it does look like the bot lane will be out of this one just fine. The Lux is low, the Caitlyn's about half. This is looking a bit difficult with that poke, however. As we mentioned earlier, Caitlyn's gonna be able to zone at the Jinx, gonna be able to zone at the Soraka. It does look like the Nunu and the Hecarim are gonna go for an engage. Does look like getting some good passive damage, getting some good things. The Lux is coming into support, trying to get something going. It does look like they're setting up for a Soraka with the Jinx, trying to go for something. It does look potentially like a solo kill for the Renekton here. Potentially go for the tower dive. It is going to go for the ult, gonna activate it, going to get that 300 gold. Pushing their lead just a little bit further, getting some tower plays. Now, in a lot of situations, a lot of other, if this game was a bit earlier played, that bit of early advantage would potentially be devastating, completely ruining any chance. But we are in Season 12, which means that just because you're getting some tower plays does not mean they're out of the game by any stretch of the means. They still have some good play potential. They still have some good take potential. The Hecarim's doing well. They're getting some good trades. It does look like they're struggling a little bit of bot, but that's all right. As a whole, it does look like this is going to be a very interesting game. It does look like their Rift is up, so potentially it could look like they're going to go for a Rift play from either team. Rift Herald is very good, especially onto this earlier minutes, pre-14, when there's still tower platings. That extra goal from the Rift, that extra goal from the tower planes, that extra pressure from potentially breaking a tower, all of them combined to make Rift Herald a very valuable objective. And it does look like very soon, as you see right now, Corki does have his package. Now, this could force a Rift play from Team Bethany Esports. Very good play, in my very professional opinion. It does look like there's going to get some good poke damage, potentially an ult here from this. Does not look like they need it. The Caitlyn will hit that amazing Q to get that solo kill. Unfortunate for the SSU Bears. Does look like they might even lose their first tower here, as bot lane is struggling to keep up, unfortunately. Once more, it also is noted that that Nunu has not ganked very much right now. It has not done a lot of ganking on the bot lane. Now, of course, there is gank right here, and as soon as I say that, immediately the Nunu ganks mid lane, trying to get some plays going here, and it does look like the Hecarim's going to try to get a good kill here on the Lux. The Lux does not have a bounty, but that it will still be a nice 300 gold benefit. Potentially going for the double kill, maybe even going for a triple with the Nunu here, but the Nunu counter hit is potentially very dangerous. That ult is very powerful. Gonna get a double kill. Looks like it might even get the triple. That is a triple. That is huge for Bethany Esports and very unfortunate for the SSU Bears, as Corki is going to get some free farm effects. He's going to try and get something going, but the fight is already. This is unfortunate for the SSU Bears, but luckily, it is not out of it. That Rift Herald is going to hurt, though. That Rift Herald potentially going to get 2 planes, maybe even a tower if they're not careful. Especially since Corky's going to try and zone him out, going to get that tower damage. It's about 160 gold. Do some quick math. That is 400 gold total, which is like 100 gold. It's a bit over about what it kills worth of gold. Does look like they will not be able to stop the second charge, which is huge. That second charge could do a lot of tower damage, as you will see. Renekton just getting some free farm, getting some free gold, getting some pure platings. Hecarim pathing his way up, maybe looking to gank, maybe looking to get something to work. We are unsure at the moment. Now we're back into like sort of a neutral playing, just both teams trying to get some advantage. Look at that red vision down at the bot lane. However, that is a huge amount of their jungle visioned off, which can give the red team, in this case, once again, Bethany Esports, a lot of potential. Soraka recognized this and immediately try and go and clear some vision, try and get the control out of the way. Looks like a potential steal, but unfortunately does not believe the drag had started yet, so that will not get a steal of anything from that. That will be a drag, however, as I do believe that Nino has this line up, which will immediately grab some great value into the drag. That's 2 drags up, getting them into the mid game, into the late game. They're gonna have an advantage. It is going to be a Cloud Soul game this year, which is a very good soul, very good for everyone. Almost every character here wants that, with good mobility. Hecarim especially, huge amounts of mobility from that. Now with a 7K gold deficit here, it is going to be a bit difficult for the SSU Bears. However, at around 15 minutes, which is only around 2-3 minutes from this point, they will be giving objective bounties, and that objective bounties does offer a lot of potential to get back into the gold. It does look like there's going to be a solo queue as the ult and the root are going to go off, catching out Vex. Unfortunately, Turtle Strike will die in that engagement. Immediately, we're going to see them path right up towards top. The Hecarim's there. They do not realize that the Hecarim's going to go for a play here, getting the push, getting the play. The stun from the Jax could be huge. The root on the Hecarim, however, he will not be able to fall. That ult will potentially get something going. Unfortunately, it's a 4-man team. All of them are going to be there, and the Hecarim is going to die, unfortunately. But the Jax does look like he will manage to get away. That is an unfortunate play there. That is about 300 gold plus a tower. That is really not great for, once again, the SSU Bears. The turret plating will fall soon, which will mean Unleashed Teleport is out, meaning that the top players can gank more places, get some more players going, because both Renekton and Jax have teleports. But until that point, it does look like they're just going to be getting some more tower pressure, getting some more objectives. SSU Bears has their work cut out for them if they're going to want to get back into this game. It's possible, of course, with some good objective bounties, some good plays, some good team fights, they still can go into it. At this point, Team SSU is really going to want to be avoiding those solo kills. Those solo kills are really pushing ahead the team, especially since they're going to be 4-manning it. They're going to be all going for it. Jax, once again, solo fight, getting a skirmish going. You're not going to really want to be seeing a lot of that because those solo kills can do a bit of damage for this team, for the SSU Bears. They don't have, unfortunately, the damage or the pressure to go for solo skirmishes. Jax, however, still a very good fighter, and those characters still can potentially do it. They're really going to be looking to force some smaller scale team fights, maybe some 3v1s, 3v2s, things like that. Because on a full 5v5, it is still very difficult for Team SSU Bears to win, but with good Hecarim ults, good Soraka ults, it's not impossible for it to happen. With the 10k gold deficit, we're really going to be looking for those objective bounties, which are currently up. Right now, we're going to be looking to try and take those drags, which will come up in, I believe, 2 minutes, I think, at this point in time. I do not know the number off the top of my head, which I apologize for. But it does look like, once again, trying to pressure the inner turrets, get some damage in. That will be an unfortunate death for the Jinx, as CC into CC into CC, going to give you a teleport from the Renekton right into a play, trying to take it into, really trying to force some plays. Unfortunately, just a Soraka and a Jinx trying to defend. Does look like that the Jax is trying to get some space, trying to get something, get that stun though. Hecarim's coming in with the push, with the flash, the Vex ult into the fear, immediately getting a kill, which could potentially get free. Renekton's going to be fighting, trying to hit the Soraka. Vex is going to unfortunately die. The Jax is still in the fight, maybe can pull something out. Hecarim's returning with a good speed dash into a free kill. That's a double kill right there, and a shutdown for the Hecarim. That is a huge potential play. The Jax and the Renekton there, that is currently a 3-4-3. The fight is still even. Gonna try and get another kill on the Renekton, trying to get that. Nunu's coming in with a snowball. That low health Hecarim is gonna be able to dodge it at the highest speed of Hecarim. And the Jinx is gonna get some going on with the lethal tempo, especially being as strong as it is now. The good news is they got some shutdowns from that. The good news is they got some trades from that. Bad news is, unfortunately, the Respawn Timers are gonna favor the Bethany Esports, and Nunu is going to still be alive, immediately able to rotate towards the Rift, deny them that objective bounty, get enough, and get Rift Herald. Does look like they will miss that, getting the fear, trying to get a kill here, does not believe that they have the ult up, so will not be able to take the kill, and that Rift Herald play is going to be unfortunate. It is not looking great for SSU Bears here. It is looking like they're just not being able to get it. Those solo kills are really starting to add up. The objective play is really starting to add up. That Rift is going to be a lot of damage going on. It does look like it will be a very difficult game for them to win, and potentially this could spell disaster if they're not prepared. It does look like they're going to be aiming for a 5-man team fight, however, so that could potentially be very interesting, trying to get something going with a Rift Herald play potentially. Ooh. And a package. That package play could be very scary. As my friend would say, it could be a doomsday device if they're not careful. That pick is going to be huge. Will not kill them, unfortunately. That Jax is going to say that Silence is huge. Immediately, that package play could be devastating. Caitlyn's trying to get something going, trying to get the kill here. No one's died yet. That is some huge damage. It does look like, because they are close to the defense, it is going to be favoring the blue team. They're going to fall back, but immediately red team's gonna be grabbing that, gonna grab that third drag. Once again, denying the objective bounty, getting closer to that soul, that all-important, very powerful soul. But it does look like they will be taking a recall here. And as you can see, look at that red vision. Look at the place where they have it. They have it all across the bot side. Completely controlling the jungle, completely controlling what they see. They're really going to have to clear up that vision, get some vision control back, try and fight for the river, and really going to try and take some objectives under their teeth. But those vision, not going to make it easy, not at all. Soraka, recognizing this, going to start clearing some vision. Someone's got to do it, and it's always the support. The thankless job of support. Going to control ward for it. And it does look like, once again, they're going to go before I'm seeing a team fight, potentially even a dragon fight. Next, you're going to get some farm. Renekton pushing it all the way to the top. Jax is going to be collecting some CS. Not bad, not bad. Good play, good fundamentals. Getting that CS is important. You might not think it, but believe me, CS can mean a lot. Just 15 CS is about 300 gold worth of gold, which is a kills worth of gold. Unfortunately, Nunu cannot be slowed, and unfortunately, the mid laner will be missing that all-important stun and root. It does look like it'll be sitting for, once again, a team fight. Huge plays gonna be here. Once again, as I mentioned, that Lux is gonna be hitting those barriers, gonna be trying to make some plays here. Does look like they're gonna be forcing a team fight without the minion support, which will make it very, very difficult for the blue team to manage. All on the gauge, does hit the ult, does hit the clean thing. It does look like he's going to immediately getting the fear and trying to make some fights going, trying to get the stun. They're going to be stunned. They're going to be rooted. All of them on Hecarim. Hecarim is not quite dying as Jax is in the backline, not going to be able to do it. That Turtle Strike will die. Renekton is still really high, not with a high rate, full rate. Fed Renekton with a Gold Guardian Angel too. But even if you do manage to get the Hecarim's still there. They're not going to get, they fight for their friends. But that is unfortunate as the SSU Bears are going to lose this match. Unfortunate for the Bears this game. Now, unfortunately, it did look like those early solo kills didn't turn it into a unfortunate end victory for the Bethany Esports. So good job to Bethany Esports with that amazing play, getting those solo kills, pressuring this house, and unfortunate for the SSU Bears as they are going to lose the game for that. We're going to go to a short break now, but we will be back very soon for some more fun games and commentary.
Oh, more of a dog person, huh? You are right to fear my greatness.
All right, welcome back to some more esports. We have once again into the SSU Bears, into the Bethany esports. We're back into pick and ban phase. Once again, we're going to see something very similar to Yumi ban, Fiora ban, Kiana ban, and a Lily ban. These are the exact same bans that we saw last game, which does ask the question: are we going to be seeing the exact same bans this game? Or are we going to see anything mixed up? What are the changes in the picks? What is going to be different this game? What we're going to immediately notice is the Hecarim ban this time. Very different from last time. Immediately thinking, okay, this Hecarim was potentially dangerous, was potentially threatening, so we are going to immediately try to eliminate that. Well, I guess one less support potential. Are we going to see the Jinx play again? Once again, as we saw last time, Jinx into Caitlyn was very difficult for the SSU esports. Are we going to see that exact same counterplay this time? Perhaps are we going to see something different? Immediately back, we're going to be seeing Caitlyn. Once again, the exact same as last time. And the question is, does the SSU esports think, okay, we can do this, we just didn't do great last time. This time we'll be fine, we'll be great this time. Or are they thinking we can plan around this, we can do something slightly different? Once again, to a Karma play. Now, Karma does not have the same DPS as a Lux player, but that support extra damage still has good poke, and potentially, if you're good at her, even more utility than a Lux, with good stuns and good slows. So, we have to ask ourselves this. With a Leona pick here, this is a very different approach than last time. I kind of like this approach a bit more than Soraka. Soraka basically says, okay, we can fight this out, we can duel out, but ultimately, in the poking, we're going to be able to stay in the lane, we're going to be able to sustain, we're going to be fine, we're going to be able to survive your poke. Leona says, you can try to poke us, we're just going to go right on top of you and kill you. We're not going to worry about playing neutral, we're just going to engage. We're just going to go for the fight, we're just going to go in. And the quirky plate from the Troll Strike immediately just yoinking it right under the feet of Bethany Esports. Bethany Esports here, very interesting. Okay, Turtle Strike, very confident, very good mid laner, as we saw with the Vex plays. With a Corki, they're thinking, okay, I can take a Corki. We can just buy with a Corki. Nunu will appear once again, same as last time. Very solid Nunu will plays we saw from earlier. Good ganks, good engages, still good pressure. With a Fiddlesticks ban here, we're immediately thinking, we're thinking your team fight is going to be more, we're going to be more team fight focused. We don't want to deal with the Fiddlesticks because the Fiddlesticks can definitely just scare off. And as you saw earlier, that vision control towards the end, Fiddlesticks is very good at getting vision control and very powerful to have it. Denying a Victor play for the mid lane because Victor is just really broken right now and just a very scary champion because that's just kind of how Victor operates. Victor has, like, especially with Crown of Shattered Queen, huge DPS. Victor's scary, man. Victor's scary. As a Fiddlesticks player and a Lilia player, I am sad to see the bans, but I do respect them. So then we see a Jax ban, as Jax was able to do the Renekton pretty safely, pretty comfortably, and they're immediately going to say, fine, you're not going to get Jax, fine, you're not going to get a Renekton. Banning out both of those players, both of them going 1-for-1 on that. I'm going to get Syndra here. Syndra, insane DPS, and at level 6, that power spike is incredible, especially if you're able to hit the full to death, zero to death combo with Syndra, very potentially threatening. Corki, however, is also very powerful right now, and with the package plays, Syndra might be in a bit of trouble. That being said, Syndra's DPS not at all to be messed with and can vaporize anything if you're not careful. With the Jarvan pick, Jarvan also has very, very good ganks. Nunu might be able to literally snowball into a victory, but Jarvan will plant the flag and shout Demacia at the top of his lungs and then run in and then gank you with Cataclysm. And his shield thing that I forget. I know it's his W, gets him a shield really good. Urgot, solid play. Do like an Urgot, but into this comp, it's a bit curious, but I will not doubt it. Once again, they are better than I am. And Urgot does have the insane, just like W actives. He has a good ultimate, can be able to grab someone immediately out. Does look like we can potentially get an Aatrox play here. The legendary Dark Souls villain himself. Not literally, but you know. Nope. We are going to be getting a Jarvan not Jarvan the Fourth. We're going to be getting a Jace, Arcane Legend himself. Now, Jace into an Urgot. High burst damage from the Jace. Very high burst, especially with the range mix-up. Can potentially zone out the Urgot. Urgot, just very tanky, very good at getting those fights, getting the skirmishes. Could be interesting to see how this all will play out. With these a bit of combined efforts, it is going to be genuinely interesting to see how these teams once again go into. As we see again, the Caitlyn Karma combo is going to be attempting to zone them out. Both a Leona play here, they're going to be trying to get the engage on, get a fast fight going just to win these out, brawl these engages out for the victories. Now, I do like this individual strategy a bit more than I like the Soraka strategy, because the Soraka strategy did not work out because Soraka does have to hit her Qs. Once again, Caitlyn can outrange Soraka. Caitlyn can deny those Qs. But with Leona may have to hit her hook, but Leona can walk at them with a lot less fear than a squishy Soraka can. Because Leona is a very powerful, very strong armor lady, and she is not afraid of anybody. And I do like that. With a bit of interesting quirky play here as well. That is good DPS, good mix damage. As we mentioned, those strengths from Corki from earlier, that package plays to be able to force engagements, the really high DPS. Now it is on the SSU Bears, giving them a very powerful matchup into this. Syndra may be very broken, may be very powerful, but right now Syndra is not as prevalent and as dominant as Corki is. That being said, it does matter about the literal pilot a lot. So we're going to be seeing how Turtle Strike can fight into Ekwan and that. I'm only a little bit biased as a caster of the SSU Bears. I might have to admit, go Bears, where I'm very excited to see if they can pull out. Because remember, just because they lost game 1 does not mean that they lost the match. And this game 2 could be very terminal into how this entire thing will end up playing out. The Urgot into Jace is a matchup I'm curious to see how it will go. How will Urgot deal with that high burst damage from Jace, and how will Jace try to zone out the Urgot's incredible dueling skirmishing potentials? Plus, that very powerful pick potential from the ultimate could be scary. Well, welcome back to another game, and we once again have to ask ourselves the all-important question: are they going to invade? Take that really early level 1 engage. Are they going to take it? Does not look like they will. This game, which is less befitting because Leona is a very strong into that early game with that very powerful stun or very powerful root, depending on which ability she takes at level 1. Now these two compositions, it does look like SSU Bears, they're going to be looking to get right up in the face of Bethany, right up in the face, engage really hard, really fast, and do a lot of damage. It looks like the Bethany Bears are going to be looking a lot more to, not Bethany Bears, Bethany Vikings are going to be looking a lot more into just zoning them out, keeping them away, trying to pressure away. Syndra has really good pushbacks. Caitlyn has really good range. Jarvan can switch up that thing, but that powerful stun from the Nunu can potentially act as a sort of engage. And Karma has good speed buffs, allowing him to mobily move wherever they want. They're going to be looking up, and the wave that Crate reaches it, immediately just going for some passive trading. Nothing too crazy quite yet, just passive trades, getting the easy things, trying to get that minion CS. Because once again, CS is very, very important into this game. Getting those minions does matter. It does. 15 minions is about 300 gold, which is worth about a kill. Plus, that minion experience could be very useful. Getting those level 2 power spikes is an ability up on your opponent, giving them huge advantages onto those engages, letting you easily fight. Syndra's going to be getting a lot of poke. They are going to see a Jarvan gank, but it does not look like the Jarvan's going to get too much going. But they are going to be able to force a flash out of Syndra, and Syndra is low health, giving Corki a much easier laning phase. It does look like Caitlyn's going to be trying to zone them out, try and get some pressure. Once again, we saw this last game. Difference this time, however, is they have a Leona. Leona is very powerful engage, especially at the earlier levels, which can be interesting to see at the least. Getting that poke damage in, that Leona's not going to be able to do a lot. They are going to take the crashing wave, as mid lane's also going to be sending a big crashing wave. Just some good neutral play, good solid engagements, nothing too crazy quite yet. It's pretty simple, but that's the fun little part about League. You never know when something can go from nothing to everything. Once again, getting some good tower damage. As you can see, those 5 lines, those are indicating the terror platings. The platings are very good, very lots of gold, and they're going to be wanting that because that is a big spite of that. As you just saw, 80 gold, that is nice, that is clean. Immediately going to be getting that extra little bit of gold. Leona and Jinx are going to be unfortunately forced to play into the sort of neutral style. Without that Soraka, however, Jinx is going to be forced to make a lot more recalls than they were going to be last game. And Leona is now going to be alone against a composition that she's really not great with the damage into. Leona doesn't have horrible damage, mind it, but her damage does leave a little something to be desired. Unless you have her Jinx with her, which can follow up her great stuns. But it does look like that our Turtle Strike mid laner will get an amazing dodge on that new ball, just trying to make sure you're not going to get any good ganks here, you're not going to get any engagements. I do like that play right there. Getting some early recalls in the bot lane, just trying to pressure into the wave. On the bright side, bot lane is going to get a nice be able to catch the wave, going to be able to push it, but the bot lane on their side will come back to a huge wave that the bot lane has been pushing the entire time, giving them the wave advantage in this case. It does look like Nunu might be setting up some sort of gank in the bot lane, top lane, might be getting something going, not quite sure, does not necessarily look like it, but it does seem that that little bit of engage is just going to be a simple recall, nothing too crazy. And Leon is also going to be looking to take a recall, or potentially an early gank onto that Syndra. It does look like there's going to be a gank. There is going to be a gank in top lane as well, as Jace is losing the engage, but that Nunu Willem is going to come to save him. That might be very dangerous. Are they going to get out? They are going to manage to get out just barely. Urgot is going to be survival. That was a very good engage on the Jace, but unfortunately the Nunu was right there to defend him when he needed it most. Immediately, that Jace is going to be looking, all right, trying to get some vision right into the Dragon Pit, trying to see if they're going to go for a Dragon fight, and Syndra is almost at level 6. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but at level 6, Syndra does all of a sudden get a 0 to death instant kill combo, which is a lot of damage with her ultimate ability. Very powerful stuff, very dangerous potentially. On the bright side, however, Corki will be somewhat soon getting his very powerful package, very powerful ability, very powerful effect. which will let him do some crazy engages directly onto the Syndra or to force fights at potentially a Dragon Pit or a Rift Herald. Now that they're back with full health, Leona and with the Jarvan assist, they are going to be looking to get some good engages going at the bot lane. Going to be looking for it. They're going to be backing away, of course. Don't want anything. And the Leona is going to get engaged. Immediately, the Jarvan's going to come over to assist. Are they going to get that kill? That Nunu Will is going to come to assist them. He's going to stun him again, but unfortunately, it does look like they're going to be able to get a counter kill. That is the first kill of the game. That's an extra 100 gold for Caitlyn. Unfortunate for SSU, as that gank is not going to be great because the Nunu was very close by at the moment. And they will be attempting to force a drag play directly out of this. It does not look like they'll be attempting any steals here, which is perfectly all right. Nunu is very good into securing those dragon objectives because of her Q, which gets extra 2 damage into those dragons. Once again, pushing the wave all the way up at the bot lane. Good fundamental plays, good, just simple wave control. Going to be taking a recall, getting items, and immediately rotating back. That wave is going to slowly start to push back, denying, unfortunately, SSU Bears income, and making sure that and then the only way to get back at it, and denying SSU income, and giving extra income to the Bethany team. Once again, it does look like potentially they're going to be looking for an engage. That is going to be, unfortunately, there was vision, so they are going to know about them when they're going to go for the fight. Trying to clear some vision. Leona is, as Jarvan is going to be looking for a gank. He's going to be looking for an engage. Unfortunately, Urgot's pretty low, but Urgot does have an ultimate that immediately will execute the opponent if they're alone. They are now 1-for-1 kills with only a small gold deficit, potentially keeping them. They're very much still in this game. A few platings and a few more good CS waves, and SSU Bears is in a solid, good position. But they are unfortunately down objectives right now. They are going to have stuff to make some moves. They're going to have to make some plays, but that's all right. It is going to look like they're going to try and engage directly on top of the Jinx, doing a lot of damage, getting a lot of poke on him, potentially even looking for a tower dive, although it does not seem like that is something that they're particularly interested in. The Jarvan is going to get a very nice gank on the Syndra, but Syndra has good move speed and is slow. That does not matter, of course, as Drill Strike is going to come back and immediately get that kill for the blue team, for Team SSU Bears, and it's going to be a great play. Nunu is unfortunately far too late to get anything going, but he's just going to have to path through, go to the bottom of his jungle, and start getting some more camps. It does look like the sport's just playing some vision out. Once again, crashing away, getting some good tower damage, potentially even taking out the first turret, and then immediately potentially looking like going to go for a recall into a reset, getting some more items from their much needed gold advantage, trying to force out some huge plays. Once again, as we saw last game, they're going to try and force a Rift Herald objective, which, as I discussed, is a lot of gold because not only gives the Rift gold, also gives the plating gold and potentially a tower advantage. Huge objective plays into the team, Bethany Esports, into the red team. I'm just gonna say the red team. The red team is going to be just looking to make some decent plays, nothing too crazy. Nunu's gonna snowball back into it. Nothing too insane. Just getting some good CS, getting some good wave pushing. Just simple, fundamental good plays. It does look like they're potentially going to be trying to clear out some vision. I'm not sure what the bot lane is doing. They already pushed the wave all the way to the tower. Just going to be sort of looking to get some vision. Going to look some keep an eye. Jinx is just sort of waiting for the wave to crash back. And it does look like they're setting up for a 3-man engage on the mid lane. Luckily, Leona is there, so if they do decide to go for it, they are going to be able to fight back. The Jinx is alone, though, and as you can see, there was a ping. The Jurgot is going to get a good engage here. It does look like they were about to be able to solo kill this. Really good play. Unfortunately, that Jinx is alone now. Going to take a kill. That is a root. Immediately, Karma's going to try and go for some plays. He's speeding up her Caitlyn. Going to get the engage. Unfortunately, that is downright unfortunate because the Jinx stayed far too long in the lane, waiting for the wave to crash back. Plus, that extra vision made sure that they knew immediately where Caitlyn was. They're going to place the Rift, trying to force bot wave to completely be destroyed. getting them a huge objective advantage and a huge gold advantage. It does look like Leona and Jinx are going to try and defend it. Jarvan is alone in the mid lane with this Corki, as Nunu is going to try and take advantage of this. Jarvan's going to say, I don't care, I'm just going to dash right through you with my flag. Gonna get some good pressure going. Karma is there, is going to get some poke damage, but I do not think that they'll be able to get the kill, especially with Jarvan right there, potentially getting a kill there, potentially getting a shutdown. With the Jarvan got the shutdown with that lone assist. That is going to be a team fight. That's going to be a huge ult from the Leona. Getting that extra stun, that's a clean double kill. Immediately trying to pressure this 5-man lead into some objective leads, as they are going to get a 1 re-kill back. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Something happened. Wasn't good. And it does look like this team is going to be able to re-engage. Unfortunately, losing that little bit of advantage that they did have. They're just trying to get the re-engage, trying to get the refight. They are going to have to take the recalls here. Nunu's going to be coming back and aiming for that jungle play. Aiming for that dragon play, not that jungle play. Nunu's at the dragon pit, just going to try and solo it while Leona figures a little bit of vision. It does look like Jarvan's going to be pushing up the top wave, as Urgot's going to be going up to catch his wave. Not a bad play at all. Once again, just good, solid, fundamental plays here. Caitlyn is also going to be taking the top wave. Once again, trying to get, as I mentioned before and time again, just solid, good, fundamental plays. You want to get that extra gold from the CS wave. You want to get that extra tower damage. And you need to force the enemy team to respond to them. Immediately, it looks like the Karma is going to be rotating over just to make sure that the Urgot's going to be... that the Caitlyn's going to have a little bit of defense in case the enemy team does go for it, which, as you can see, blue team is going to be trying to go for these kills. And immediately, since Karma's there, they can get some stuns up, they can sort them out, warn the Caitlyn that, hey, these people are coming, and Caitlyn can decide whether it's time to head out or just try to pressure more. And it does look like the Caitlyn's going to opt to pressure more. This Karma is going to deny some vision. Immediately seeing the Corki play, Caitlyn's going to think, okay, I think it's time. Let's get out. Or not. It does look like Caitlyn's just going to be staying here, as Corki is going to get some good pressure here. And the Karma is going to do it. The Urgot is going to be here to fight the Jace. As we see, it is going to be interesting. With that Nunu assist, it might be difficult for... No, it is not, as that very amazingly well-placed ultimate is going to allow Urgot to instantly kill the Jace, along with some good coordination and some turret assistance. Top lane is going to be into a little bit of an engagement, as Corki and Leona are having a bit of issues into that composition. That poke damage is just dangerous and powerful. Caitlyn really abusing her range, Karma really abusing her range, really just trying to force out the fact that, hey, you just can't hit me, and I can hit you. And eventually, we'll win. Syndra's trying to get some tower damage in the mid lane. Looks like the bot wave is resetting. Top lane is also resetting. And just going to be just some pretty simple, basic, just, hey, let's get some more damage going. Let's just get some more plays going. Let's get some more objectives, towers. Do not overstay your welcome, however, as the Jarvan will immediately try to go for some huge punish plays with a bit of assist from the Jinx with that extra huge ultra mega death rocket, trying to get that amazing plays going. As that is a knockup, but Urgot isn't scared. Urgot's like, you can fight me. Come on, get closer. And it's an interesting play because Nunu has fast speed, and Urgot's very, very good at dealing damage to everyone who's close to him. Looks like there might be some more top play being going on. Corki's going to get a lot of damage in. Huge damage spikes, which he does have the advantage of. Unfortunately, is going to lose the turret there. Jarvan might be looking for the assist, might be looking for the Rift, might be looking to set up a Rift Herald play, which could potentially be huge, but might be a bit of a dangerous move here. Risky move, but potentially a huge one, because Rift Herald is representing a huge amount of gold, as now the objective bounties are active. What's happening is, number one, Rift Herald is considered an objective. That's a bunch of gold from Rift Herald. Number two, taking towers already gives you gold, plus it gives you objective bounty gold, which is extra additional gold now. And even more than that, if you can take more than one turret, that's 3 potential objective bounties for one single play, giving huge amounts of advantage to it. To a Rift Herald, letting them claw their way back into the game, which we're not at a huge disadvantage, like 5k gold lead is not great, but that Rift Herald play potentially stands to reset them, put them back in that game. It'll be even better if they could not die, but unfortunately it does look like they're going to get a free kill there because of that play. Was a risky play. I do think it was worth it. That Rift Herald does represent potentially 3 objective bounties worth of gold, which is about, to combine between everyone gets about 100 gold. That's 500 gold for each objective bounty. Times 3, that's potentially over 1,000 gold worth of objective bounties, which is huge and can potentially even get them back into the game. They're not going to be lining up anytime soon, though, as immediately they are going to be going for a tower play. With that little bit of advantage on the people fighting, just trying to get that ult. That is a huge ult, getting the kill there. With that huge package play that Corki is not going to be giving in, that Jarvan is going to get an amazing play. That fear from the Urgot, huge, absolutely huge. They're going to be able to kill that Urgot, and they are going to unfortunately die because immediately, not going to matter. They're all going to die to the collapsing rest of the team that unfortunately does unfortunately spell disaster for the team, as they're going to be getting huge damage, potentially taking out the inner turrets. But it does look like that Jinx will be there, and so will Jarvan, just enough to defend the Nexus, so they won't outright lose the game, unless these two people cannot, unfortunately, defend properly. It does look, immediately they're going for the Nexus point. Jarvan saying, no, you're not. Immediately trying to get the knockups, trying to get the things, getting a double kill, but the Nunu is going to get the Nexus, unfortunately, for Team SSU Bears. That is going to be the unfortunate loss for the SSU Bears this game. Once again, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the stream, it was meant to be a very difficult matchup, and it is unfortunate that they lost such a way. There were some very good plays there, some very good Jarvan ganks, and there were some very good engagements, but unfortunately, just the wave pressure, the poking, and just the raw DPS of that team composition did eventually overwhelm the SSU Bears, which is unfortunate for this. I think it is. I do believe, however, there will be a small break coming up right now, so we'll talk to you all later, and potentially with even some interviews. Hello there, right? Welcome back, and welcome back. I want to immediately, sorry. Hello and welcome back. We are here with a small little bit of an interview with one or mid laner, Turtle Strike from the SSU Esports. Turtle Strike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It is our strongest opponent we played. Sadly, I kind of failed the package at the end there, so they was able to end the game. But other than that, I thought the games went fine. It went a lot better than we were able to get the stuff we wanted to, so that was good.
Yeah, going into this, did you have like any general game plan? What was like your? How did you think about going into this?
So looking at their games from last week, we could tell they were very bot focused, and they had like the want to end through bot very quickly and early. So doing that, we planned around getting more stable bot lanes and try to hover bot a little bit more because normally we play towards top and mid side. So we decided to switch it up this week and hover towards bot side so they couldn't get super hard leads. Just unfortunately, we just kind of got like in the first game, like every lane was kind of behind. That second game, we were in a good spot, but we just got picked a few times where we shouldn't. But other than that, I thought the games went fine.
Of course. Especially I saw immediately into your pick and ban strategy. Immediately I saw a few bans in the top lane. I immediately saw them banning a bunch of supports. What was your general, like you did mention your general game plan as a whole was, hey, we want to focus more bot side. How did that translate directly into your pick and bans?
We picked our AD carry's most comfortable pick is Jinx. Like that's who they really like to play. We've practiced with it a lot, so it's one of our better bot lane picks. And normally we just switch around the supports when we need. That game we thought with the Caitlyn Lux that picking up something like the Soraka that can sustain was better, but we decided in the game too we wanted to have an instant engage button, that like go button in the Leona, and they banned it out in the second phase. Or we banned out the second phase the game before. This time we decided to pick it so we can get better jungle and top lane priority.
You did mention that you had a lot of focus on the bot lane this game. Do you think that the general game plan was solid, you just weren't able to execute it properly, or do you think generally like the strategy was just little bit flawed, or why do you think ultimately that the loss did end up happening, or is it just lane macro that didn't go right?
I guess it's probably just honestly it's probably just because they're like they probably have more practice. They have their game plan that they had going in. They were able to execute that better than we were. And what ended up happening was they were able to execute that better, and just small minor like lane stuff happened that they were able to keep building up leads in lanes that were supposed to. They had more early prio lanes that caused them to be able to snowball leads into those early ends they had. I think that second game could have probably went longer. If the package doesn't get fumbled, I think we could sustain and probably maybe try to scale up our comp that we had because we did outscale them with the picks we had. We just weren't able to get to that, and it was just small minor things that we just need to fix up.
Yeah, just a few small minor things that eventually build up. Going forward, how do you think this will change how your esports team changes, like anything will practice, or it's just an unfortunate loss and you'll just work more into the future?
I think maybe going into the future, we have to the plan we make for the week, we have to make sure we execute it better on the Saturday because I don't think it changes much because like this is like one of the strongest teams we're facing this time around. So it's just one of those. It's like we get the game plan, we have to try to execute our game plan because unlike them, since they're the stronger team, they can have many game plans. We just have to make sure and like they can spread it out. We just have to make sure we drill our one game plan a lot better, that way we're able to make up for maybe like mechanic gaps or stuff like that. So we have to just make sure we play smarter than them. That way we can make up for the skill gap that's there. And moving forward, just got to make sure we commit to our plan better.
Yeah, because I did notice that, especially looking in, they were just a bunch of team of grandmasters. When you saw that initially, were you at all intimidated? Was it just like, okay, this could be a difficult week? How did you immediately seeing how highly ranked they were?
Well, with our top side of the map, how it is like me, Chase, Jeremy, we're on the higher elo ladder. We're not grandmaster, but we've placed them before. We've played against grandmasters in the past, both across the board and specifically in the top and mid section. So we have experience playing against them. So it's more of adapting the strategy that is most able to go against them and looking into like the VODs, we looked at them, all that stuff. We developed the plan, and that's basically what you have to do when the like mechanic gap is there. You have to just get the better plan and look to execute that better than they do.
Okay, thank you very much for doing this small little interview, just telling all the people. I don't believe that I have any more questions for you, so thank you very much for joining us.
I just want to say go Bears. Thanks for supporting us. It really helps with our mental and like uplifting our spirits when we look in between the games and see Twitch chat and see all the support. So keep the support up and go Bears. Let's go.
Of course. Thank you very much.
I grew up making games, so I wanted to make a career out of that. Shawnee being a small school was the thing that drew me to it. Shawnee is nationally ranked in the Princeton list for game design. A lot of the professors own their own businesses. That kind of prompted me to start my own business. I started a game studio. I don't think that would have been possible if the school were bigger, and Shawnee put that all together for me. I'm Dalton, and I invite you to discover Shawnee State University for yourself. Please visit discover.shawnee.edu.